I'm starting to realize I should really just do this instead of showing the RSI and MACD, which I literally never talk about. Um, okay, I want to do a quick trade review of a trade I took yesterday on this joint GMTZ. I think that what I had found was some sort of, I think on a lower time, because on the lower time frame we had broken the trend line as well. So let's see, something like this. Yeah, when you look at it like this, it doesn't look like the trend line ever broke, but I think I drew it in like some way like this or something like that, such that the trend line had broken here, and I was a little bit nervous. Yeah, so something like this seems about right. Um, I don't know, something like this, but we kind of took this. We didn't take this on the 1 hour, but we brought it to the 1 hour, and I think that was a good decision. So we end up buying on this candle, inside bar. Sorry, on this candle. We have a nice inside bar, follow through on this really strong break to the upside. And we took the high of this, and then I think we might have even put in, I don't quite remember because it was a minute ago. Yeah, we buy somewhere around here. So the first buy I think we buy is like 320 or something like that. And I believe it's on this candle I buy 320, and on this candle I stop out 318, which was a mistake. I think I was trying to mess with something on the stops, but anyway, I was like, okay, I do want to get back in though, so I was patient. And I think somewhere around here we get in, maybe like 325-ish, I think is the price. And because we have this breakout, I say I'm going to hold it. And I think I put in my take profit as 347. And we like break up here, and then we start coming down, coming down, coming down. I add. And I think initially my stop was going to be some sort of price action stop on, it's hard to see, it's hard to remember where. Um, yeah, it's really hard to say. Let me see if I can find when exactly my entry was. Give me a second. Ah, of course it is much worse than much worse than I thought. I entered on this candle 1457. 1457 is my first entry. My stop out is at like a couple minutes later. Very stupid, right? Let's see if we can find that. 1457 is over here. This candle, yeah. Enter on this candle, stop out on this candle. Yeah. That makes sense. Um, and it was because I wasn't using the mark price stop, and like I'm not super, I'm pretty new to Bybit, so I didn't realize about the mark price stop and all this other stuff. So anyway, like I witnessed all of this, and I'm heated, obviously. I think my first buy is up here at 327 on this candle coming down, or like on this candle going up rather, because I think it was 1514 it said. And then over the course of the next like 20, 30 minutes, I keep adding, and I decide to loosen my stop just because I realize that, this is a really good bar that we have on the 1 hour chart. And Bitcoin was looking good at the same time I was long on Bitcoin, which I'm going to go into a whole other thing anyway. Um, I don't think I did the mark price thing here, because that's a big lesson that I learned on the Bitcoin trade. Anyway, so I place my stop. I start using the 15-minute time frame to make my stops, and I think I placed my stop underneath this bar here, 315, because I recognize it as kind of the, excuse me, like this was the bar that I initially took the trade on at 1457 towards the end of this candle, right? And that at that time the stop probably should have been like on this time frame, like underneath this bar, just because this ends up being the setup. One push down, second push down, and then we take a new level. So like, yeah, this would be the stop underneath here, underneath 315. So initially I put it there at 315, and then as we're getting closer and closer to like 320, getting into those like high teens, I'm like, maybe I should give it just a little bit more room here. Maybe I should give it just a little bit more room. We kind of get this first bounce right above where my stop is, and I'm like, yeah, we still need to put in a second leg down, right? Like we need to do a test of this level. So like if we're gonna do a test of this level that ends up being a lower low, like I would like to have a little bit more room, a little bit more space, right? So I end up moving it to below this level. I think it was like 312.88 or something like that. And thankfully we don't get that level hit at all. But that level is based on the 1 hour chart. God, why does it do it like this? It's just like so disorienting. Um, that ends up being based on this inside bar on this chart that we took the high of, and I put the stop underneath here. And when this gets down to this level, I'm half expecting maybe we might get run, but I'm also half expecting exactly this type of bar that sets up exactly this type of bar. So thankfully we hold the stop. It ends up pushing up. It does go all the way to 347, but we end up closing because it's right at daily open, and I don't really like to be trading daily open like that. I end up closing like here before this final pump happens. So all in all, a pretty decent trade, pretty good trade, I'd say. I left about a little bit of money on the table, like a couple percent maybe, if I had just been patient. And then of course all of this I didn't take part in. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good trade. It was a good disciplined hold, recognizing that the chart on a higher time frame is pretty good. So I think that was a good thing, but I think also maybe a little too eager buying the breakout of this for that trade, just because I think I was just a little FOMOing that I had accurately predicted the direction of the move here when I took that first trade, and I got left at the station despite having my ticket, and I was annoyed that I missed this whole thing. And really, this is all I wanted to do in the first place, was just get a little bit, like a little scalp, couple percent scalp. And then I had to suffer through all of this, and probably buying more and adding more in this region was not the best idea. I probably should have just been patient and waited for a little bit of some sort of sign of strength. Like this was that first sign of strength, and maybe I could have bought something on here. Or at least once this happens, kind of layer some bids in this like 317 area and like down here 315 to get a little bit of like what's it called, a support fill. And I think I did, but I want to say like a quarter of my position got filled in this region, and 3/4 were here. And like I think ultimately my base price was like 323 or something like that, or maybe high 323s, like 323.60 or something like that. And it started at 327, so that can tell you just how much I ended up filling down in this region. But thankfully we didn't get stopped out. Thankfully this trade ends up working out beautifully for us, and we take a nice little chunk of profit. So yeah. Thanks for watching this. This is a quick one, and now I'm going to do the BTC one.